Hello there! Within Disney's Animal Kingdom lies Dinoland USA, a land scrapped together after the failure of Euro Disneyland. However, we're not here to talk about Dinoland's past, or even the future as it transforms into the tropical Americas. We're here to talk about the best features you can find in Dinoland as it exists right now. Strap into your time rovers because today we're discussing my top 10 favorite details in Dinoland. Now, let's go get that dino. Number 10, Dinosaurs Adak machine. Starting the list is a detail that really only a few people are able to take credit for. The Attraction Data Acquisition Machines, or ADAC machines for short, are computers that are added to rides to give data to Disney engineers that I'm not really able to talk about in depth. What I can say though is that I was fortunate enough to get to build the machines up that were added to the Time Rovers in 2022. Number 9, the hidden details in the theming. Dinoland has and likely always will be known as the land of Animal Kingdom that got screwed by the funding being cut for the failure of Euro Disney. However, even with that slash budget, there is a level of depth with the theming that people always seem to ignore when talking about the land. While there are obvious things like the giant tourist trap-esque signs or the parking lot for Dinorama, there are a bunch of hidden details that you can find scattered around the entire Dinoland. Inside of Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures, the main gift shop for Dinoland, you can find numerous 1990s comic books, including Adventures in Reading starring Spider-Man, Batman vs. Robot Dinosaur, and Marvel's Devil Dinosaur, among other movie and comic references. These are details that are almost completely ignored, but it definitely fits with the 90s tourist attraction that the Imagineers were mimicking when they created the area. The gift shop itself is also an old garage as seen by all the equipment around the building. And then the lights near the bathrooms have hubcaps around them. There's just a ton of small details that definitely show what the Imagineers can do when allowed to be creative, even on a budget. Such as the top half of Brachiosaurus being the dorms for the interns of the Dino Institute. Number 8, Ducktails References. As part of the Donald's Dino Bashery theme that attempted to revitalize attendance to Dinoland, a handful of Ducktails references were added to the area. Before the lockdowns, this included meet and greets with Scrooge McDuck and Launchpad McQuack. The reference to Launchpad is a poster, and that still exists currently next to Restaurantosaurus. And you can also occasionally hear Launchpad talking about his flights during his segment in the WDNO radio ads, along with callouts from Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby. Number 7, the Boneyard. This is one of the few areas that I've never gotten to properly interact with around property, simply due to being too old to play with all the slides and such. It is a huge playground, quite possibly the largest one around Walt Disney World. It's a very nice area to just let kids burn off some energy while their parents relax, and it's a Wilderness Explorer location, so make sure to hit it and get the badge for the woolly mammoth before it disappears. Now, I will say there are 2 major sections for this. There is the dinosaurs on the wall near all the slides, and then on the other side of the bridge is a little dig area with the Wilderness Explorer badge and the actual dig site. It's fun, and I highly recommend you check it out if you get a chance before they close it down. Number 6, the roadside attraction signs. On the Dinorama side of Dinosaur Treasures, you can find double-sided signs hanging from the ceiling. On one side, you have rough, scaly skin making you groan, don't despair, use dinosaur foam, and on the other, you have while in Florida, make sure to visit Epcot, which features a more retro-style logo than what we have for Epcot now. As a fun fact, you can find similar signs over near the car suites at Art of Animation, right down to a reference to Rusty's in place of dinosaur foam. Number 5, WDNO Radio. This is a radio station that plays inside of Dinoland and has done since the very beginning, at least as far as I can find. It hasn't always been the same people though. It at one point was live, from what I can tell from old photos. Surprisingly or not, there isn't really a lot on WDNO radio, regardless of how I attempt to search it. When Dino Bash first started, Disney introduced a new version of WDNO radio, which focused more on the event and not really what they were doing beforehand. And with the Tropical Americas coming soon, this will likely be the same dialogue and tunes that end off Dinoland USA. Unless the holiday one is different. I honestly am not 100% certain on that. Maybe I'll get a chance to hear it before it disappears forever. Number 4, the Christmas Brachiosaurus. This is a very specific holiday decoration that we may or may not get to see before the Tropical Americas open, depending on what Disney decides to do leading into the new land and the construction and whatever they announce at D23. I don't know. As with most of the resort, Disney puts up a bunch of holiday decor leading into Christmas, and Dinoland is no different. The Brachiosaurus stands at the front of Dinoland USA and gets covered in blue string lights. It's fun, and it is one of those attention to detail efforts that Disney is so beloved for, and I'm absolutely going to miss it when it is finally taken down and no longer appears every holiday season. Number 3, the McDonald's Pipes. After the dinosaur pre-show with Dr. Seeker and Dr. Marsh, you can find a reference to when McDonald's sponsored Dinoland. On either side of the queue, you can find 3 pipes. On the left-hand side, you can find all 3 have chemical formulas, which result in ketchup, mustard, and mayo. And as you are leaving the ride, you can also find a pipe that I've been told is a reference to the McDonald's sauce, but I've never really paid attention to McDonald's sauce, so I'm not 100% certain on that one. McDonald's hasn't sponsored the parks in almost 20 years, so it's almost a surprise that Disney left any trace of the sponsorship. I have to assume it's due to the fact that there isn't any McDonald's branding on the pipes, and thus the time, money, and effort to repaint said pipes was likely considered a waste. And considering how few people seem to notice this specific detail, they were probably right in choosing not to repaint them. Number 2, the arrows on the water tower. Being from the south, these arrows very much feel like something you'd find in one of those middle of nowhere towns, especially when you follow the line over to the 2 chairs that would obviously be the archer spot. According to the lore though, this is some of the college students from the Dino Institute or interns for the paleontologists playing games in Diggs Country. You can kind of tell this from the beer cans stacked up against the window behind them. Honestly, it makes me wonder if any of the Imagineers were interns for Disney back in the day, considering how much housing Disney has had since their internship programs first started. Number 1, the train. If you've ever looked up inside of Dinosaur Treasures before, then you will probably recognize this train that runs around the center interior walls of the shop. While it's nothing super special, it is absolutely one of those things I remember from visiting Disney as a kid. Especially nowadays, there's just not a lot of this style of fun decoration, and it's going to suck when it's removed, as the closest we'll have is the little Germany train town in Epcot, but it's not the same. I guess outside the parks, Once Upon a Toy at Disney Springs also has a track for things to move around the shop, but I never seem to catch it moving. As a little fun fact, Woody from Toy Story actually rides in the train. I have absolutely no idea when or why he was added to it though. Disney's Imagineers cram a lot of attention and detail in their various vacation destinations, and Dinoland is absolutely no stranger to that. Definitely let me know if I missed something major though. I'm not sure everything made the list. While I know Disney has changed lands in the past, this is the first time I've been fully present and near Disney World while we've been aware of those changes. So I want to make sure that I catalog and digitally preserve as much of the details as possible, and then share them in videos like this, or maybe even try to be more specific with something like the Dinosaur Institute college dorms. How I share those facts is a later problem. I know I keep saying I have projects in the work, and thankfully I still do. They're just taking significantly longer than expected. Hopefully I'll start being able to get those out though. But in the meantime, I might do some videos recounting my time working as a Disney engineer, or just useful things about Disney in general. Let me know if that sounds appealing. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you real soon. Bye!